We've got our very own Jack Benjamin from the Media Leader in conversation with Rob Gay from Venatus, and they're going to be looking at why gaming should now be considered as one of those mainstream channels. So please give them a very warm welcome.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hi. Rob, we actually spoke about 6 months ago, even though it feels a lot longer than that. Lots has happened. I'm curious, at the time you suggested, I remember agencies sort of needing to do a little bit more to help brands along the path into gaming advertising. But because some time has passed, I just wanted to ask, have you noticed any improvements in that short amount of time where, have agencies picked up a little bit?
It was a bit controversial, I know. Upset a few people. To be honest, all credit to them. Our research has been downloaded more than ever. I think I've done, and the team have done more lunch and learns in the last 6 months than we've probably done in the last 3 years. So yeah, it was a bit controversial. Everyone's embraced it, and we're seeing some really good reaction to it. So yeah, hats off to them. I'm
curious how else gaming has sort of moved on, even just in the past few months in your mind. I think of issues like brand safety. I know that was a thing for many years that clients were concerned about.
Yeah, gaming was a bit Wild West at the start. I think most media always is. On the brand safety, IAB have been brilliant. You got IAB Gold Standard, Tag, which is excellent. Google got the GCP. I think it's important that if you're going to advertise in gaming, there still is, as in most industries, areas that you shouldn't touch. As a brand, as an agency, if you go with IAB, Gold Standard partners, Tag partners, then you're reassured that you've got some good brand safety. And those are just simple intelligence and making sure that when you are buying, you're buying with people that do represent. If you're doing open market, make sure you know what apps you're on, what websites you're on. Simple, you do it in the rest of your media buys, make sure you do it in gaming.
In terms of audience, I think a lot of times the conversation around gaming, this is maybe something that hasn't moved on as fast as I think people in gaming would like it to have, in the sense of there are myths about who a gamer is that I remember we talked about last time, and I assume those are still persistent, that those conversations need to still be occurring.
Yeah, we still have clients and agencies and people that just still perceive gaming as just kids or just those sweaty students playing Call of Duty. It has moved on, and gaming, somebody asked me the other day, is how far do you think you're along the path? I still think we're only 20-30% along. I think there's so much more that we can do. Education out there, realizing that everybody games. It's just finding the right product and the right media within gaming for them. And that's why you've got core gaming, you've got casual gaming, etc. But there's still an issue with it.
How should brands consider looking at core gamers versus casual gamers? I mean, what should, if they're looking to target, let's say, more of the casual crowd, what would the recommendation be?
If it's casual, then you should be looking at apps. Casual is very simple. It's people that play games 5-10 minutes, generally each day. And what you'll generally find is they'll get into an app, they'll play it for 3 weeks, they'll obsess with it, and they'll leave it. Or they'll play a word game, Sudoku, etc. That casual audience are looking at the quick, easy bite pieces of media. So there's some great products out there. No problem. Core is a lot more that 18 to 40-year-old males who are playing Call of Duty, or I was with somebody the other day, they played World of Warcraft now for 20 years.
Wow.
20 years, that's a lot of obsession. But they play 3 hours, 4 times a week, etc. So it's kind of looking at the different audiences, and if you're looking at a community, you can go to the community websites, the League of Legends sites and the core. But casual, you want to be looking at your apps or your HTML5 games, which have been really popular now because people are stopping downloading numerous apps. Actually, a HTML5 game, you can play it on your phone, you can play it straight away. So they're really popular at the moment.
In terms of those core gamers, I mean, you mentioned a few AAA games there. I mean, well, Call of Duty is one. I suppose that speaks to the brand safety issue. Do brands want to get on those types of games and speak to those audiences when, I mean, yeah, I like Call of Duty, but it's a very violent game, to be fair.
So a lot of time when you go to agencies, and I don't probably do it as much as the rest of my team, to be honest, but you'll go in and everybody will say, yeah, I want to do gaming. I want to be on Candy Crush. I want to be on Call of Duty. So Call of Duty is the first thing they say. And you step back and go, really? Do your brand want to be on a game where people are walking around killing each other? is the audience you want to get. So then let's look at the review sites so you can go there. Yeah, that's, I think, the most important. You've got to look at your audience. Are you going to advertise on Call of Duty? Actually, as a user, do you want ads within Call of Duty? No. I think in-game advertising, we sell it. I think it's absolutely brilliant for the right game. Call of Duty wouldn't be something when I don't play it, but if you're walking around sniping, trying to shoot people, and suddenly an ad for Coca-Cola is popping up, it's probably not the right audience. There's a product that we are doing at the moment, which I'm really impressed with. So when you're playing Call of Duty or you're playing a AAA title, to me, an ad in there doesn't work. There's a new product out from NVIDIA. We represent them in some countries, other people in other countries, where basically as the game loads, you'll have a 15 or 30-second ad. Now, to me, as a user, that is perfect. You're in a waiting room, you get the ad there. As an advertiser, you're used to doing TV, you're used to doing cinema with an ad before. So an ad before somebody's playing a game, a video ad, I think that's about as good as it gets. You're getting that audience, you're getting your Call of Duty audience, but you're not actually intrusive within the game.
What other types of innovations have you been seeing in terms of different ad formats? I mean, talk about in-game advertising. There is now a big opportunity where maybe 5-10 years ago that opportunity didn't exist. But that's a particularly interesting example in terms of having a preload ad, like, as you said, like cinema. What other types of innovations are you seeing that people should keep an eye on?
Stick with in-game. I think in-game's come a long way. I'm old enough to remember 20 years ago when people tried to do in-game with static ads, etc. At the moment, there's about 5 or 6 companies doing it. We help with it, we sell it. The IAB have now got standardized formats. So again, it's being sensible when if somebody's playing a racing game, making sure the ad's in the right place, making sure that they are viewable for a certain amount of time. There's certain games that just don't lead to in-game advertising. It's really important, again, from a salesperson's point of view and from an agency, actually talking about where the environment you want to be in, the audience you want to be in, and then looking at the ads. I think in-game's come on a long way, to be honest.
I want to ask a question a bit about budgets, in terms of gaming budgets. We heard earlier in the conference, if you were in, anyone was in another room talking about gaming, Jamie Lyons from PhD said that gaming has to earn its place on the mainstream media plan, sort of implying that it hasn't necessarily, that it's still sort of getting the innovation budget. And my question is, how can we get gaming away from just innovation budgets, but also as a more mainstream part of the media plan?
I'd ask why it hasn't earned its right to be there. Personally, I think gaming it's huge. You'll see all the research out there. It's bigger than films. It's bigger than music, etc. A lot of budgets and a lot of people still look at gaming and go, "Oh, let's do the PR stunt. Let's do an innovation stunt." Actually, it's mainstream. There is IAB ad units out there that perform better than most websites. The video on gaming is fantastic, really engaged, fantastic VTR. Why, when you're looking at an entertainment budget, are you not including gaming? To me, it shouldn't be treated as separate. It should be part of an entertainment budget because gaming is entertainment. I truly believe, as an industry, we have more research than just about any other sector because we've been playing catch up. So we've done all the research, not just us, all the other media owners out there. So we have the research, we have the proof, we have the brand studies, we have the awards. It should be part of mainstream already.
So what's the holdup of in your mind?
Getting people to test. Not just test as in do a PR stunt. Get involved, give us a piece of budget, not just your 5K, a decent piece of budget, 20% of your entertainment video budget, put it into gaming, and look at the KPIs, and look how we respond. How is your music and your entertainment budget and the gaming sector of it, how do we, whether it's CTR, whether it's view through rate, etc., how have we compared to everyone else? And I bet my bottom dollar we do better than most.
Is there something more, though, that perhaps media owners, publishers themselves could be doing to help that along? Because, I mean, we talked, as you mentioned previously, about agencies, but is there something on the other side that there maybe is more communication that can be done?
I think it's, I've given credit to agencies, what they've done over the last 6 months, 12 months. I think as media owners, I think we've got responsibility now. I think gaming, as I said, has grown. And we have to be selling the right product. And it is hard. Trust me, I was 25 once and I was a salesperson and you try and get every budget you can. But sometimes you just don't have the right product for the RFP. There's nothing stronger as a salesperson going back to a client, going back to an agency. I just don't have the right product for you now. Okay, you might lose that 20 grand, 50 grand then. Trust me, the reputation you will build as a true advocate for what you're selling, they will come back to you in the future. And if we push a round peg into a square hole, we will lose that budget and we'll lose it for good, and then gaming will get damaged. So as media owners and as sellers, we're responsible now for actually putting the right product in front of agencies.
I mean, that strikes me as something that's really quite difficult to tell a salesperson to
It's incredibly hard.
use money.
Yeah, it is hard, and we're 12 years old now, one of the biggest in the industry, and in the first 6 months, 12 months, if someone had asked me to do that, I'd have really struggled to do it. But we are getting to that stage, and I think gaming has grown now that there are probably 10, 15 media owners out there. They're all of decent size. There's been a bit of everybody joining forces. There's good products out there now. We are at that stage. If we sell it properly, they will come back.
I want to, we have a few minutes. I just want to make sure if there are any questions in the room to offer that opportunity now, and I'll do it again after I've got other questions as well. But I just want to make sure. Yeah, we have a question over here.
I'm really interested in what you're, Natalie Lethbridge, hi, from Atomic Digital. I'm really interested in what you see as the opportunities for commerce within gaming, because that's becoming increasingly an area of focus. And we've seen retail media networks, social commerce really blow up. Where do you see that playing in what you do?
I think in gaming, again, it's making sure you pick the right audience and the right platform. And platform's really important now. There's, if it's commerce, let's go back to where would I do an in-game ad? No, I wouldn't. Because that is not call of action. There's no ROI on it. It is brand awareness. Yeah? Nobody's going to be playing a racing game and go, oh, I'm going to click on that ad and I'm going to go off and buy it. That's just not going to happen. The audience you've got with gaming, you've actually got a lot of people there with money in their pocket. They're playing games, so they are spending. The audience research we have is just making sure you're working with the right platform and going out there. Just traditional media, but following it up with proper research. You will come back.
Yeah, Steve, you don't even have to run around for this one.
What kind of ad formats are you seeing in gaming, and what is the majority?
Still, if you look at gaming, there is still a vast majority of gaming is websites. Yeah, review websites, community websites, etc. So traditional IAB ad units, still huge. Yeah, and I think one of these things is really important as well now as the cookies disappear, etc. If you look at the IAB, the way they're working now, you don't just go to your DSP and buy gaming, right? Because it's not going to work. You go to your DSP and you look at the different taxonomy, and you look at it, and if you want to hit mails, you go to the first person shooter games, yeah? That's really important. So IAB standard ad units are still huge. Video is massive, because gamers are looking for video, looking for content. So those are still the biggest for us at the moment. We then drop in, we do a lot in-app. That in-app world of reward video has suddenly twigged to mainstream buyers. Actually, it's 100% viewable. It's really working. Actually, the CPMs are sensible. So we're seeing a lot of that on the M-Raid side. And then in-game is, it's still very small. It's growing. It's 2-3% of the budget, but it's coming through. Still, gaming is mainstream. It's still IAB. It's video. It's takeovers.
Cool. I have one more question. I don't know if we're going to be having another fireside chat in another 6 months. I would like to think that we can. What needs to happen, by the end of, let's say, 2024, for this conversation to be less about why isn't gaming on mainstream budgets, and just be more about how can we start getting a share of that mainstream budget much larger?
I think one of the big areas that we need to be concentrating on where advertisers. COVID was, for gaming, a lot of people gamed. Yeah, a lot of people there. A lot of brands came into gaming that weren't advertisers. We saw a lot of non-endemic advertisers come in. I think that really needs to push through. I think we need to be seeing more coming from the Mercedes of the world. Yeah, they might look at it and go, oh, well, my target audience is 40+ men. I have to explain to you that everybody's gaming. So that might be a World of Warcraft audience, yeah? So that's the big thing for me is more endemic advertisers coming in. They will see the returns. I promise you, if it's done properly, that will make the big difference for us. Is gaming, entertainment are all spending, they get it. Some of the younger brands are coming through and everything like that is great. If we can get some of the older brands and the affluent brands realizing that the gaming audience is there for them, I think that'll make a massive difference.
So it's actually the more traditional brands that are slower. Interesting.
100%.
All right, Rob, that's about all the time that we have.
Always.
Thanks so much.
Brilliant. Appreciate it.
Yeah.